things. People might win things. Come in close.
I was going to say, you want me to take a picture while you're standing there?
Oh, no, I'm getting a video. What?
All right, Kimberly, come on. Kimberly and I are going to try to lead this in a way that will seem intentionally unorganized. Are you going to lead it with us? I don't know what's going on. What's your name? Chris, man. Chris, good to see you. Did you see him? Chris is in too. That's a good.
Hey, you guys!
All right, everybody.
You can hear me.
Can you guys hear? We're going to talk for 4 minutes. Everybody's going to share attention for just 4 minutes.
He has a much louder voice
Thank you,
than
guys.
I do.
4.5. About 4.5. Okay, right. Go ahead, Kimberly.
On behalf of my brother Chris Clements and myself, Kimberly Clements from Golden Eagle Distributors.
Woo! Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
And thank you for being here tonight. And welcome Sam and Dogfish Hat. Just a quick shout out to our colleagues who put this all together. And thank you to John from O.H.S.O.
Thank you, John. Thank you.
Kind of cool, very cool place.
John was here.
I know, where'd he go?
He's right there. He's sitting down. That's
John, thank you. Thank you, John.
When John sits down, nobody knows where he is.
Okay, we have a couple questions for Sam that you guys wrote, but I encourage you guys to, any questions that you all have about the beer. I see you, Vince. Hi, Vince.
Hi, Vince.
Any questions about the beer, about anything about Dogfish Head, about the craft brew industry, anything you guys have, please ask. But we have a few written down questions for Sam. So, is the Lighthouse in Dewey still the #1 place to drink in Delaware?
It's no longer the #1 place to drink in Delaware. That's a great question, whoever asked it. It's the #1 place to commit adultery in Delaware. Dogfish Head Brewing in Rehoboth is the #1 place to drink. It was a trick question.
Okay, what off-centered ingredient did you try that didn't work for you?
Okay, good question. Off-center ingredient that we tried that didn't work, and in the mid-90s when we opened up, there were not a lot of breweries that were brewing outside of stylistic guidelines, and we took some shit for that. And one of the earliest ones that we took shit for was a high alpha wheat. And I know there's brewers in the room. I saw Jeff earlier up there. And as you know, wheat beers are usually soft in terms of IBUs. And we did a high alpha wheat beer made with peppercorns and lavender buds. And we added way too many lavender buds. And the first comment card we got back said it tastes like tongue-kissing Laura Ashley. Way too much lavender. Epic fail. This man has tongue-kissed Laura Ashley.
That's a name from the 80s.
It's from the 80s.
Who knows that?
Yeah, I dated myself. I'm not a millennial. What about Algae? Oh, Megan, my co-worker. Let's give it up for Megan, who runs sales in this part of the country. So you know how on St. Patrick's Day, a lot of bars, I know not a lot of your bars, but a lot of bars that are like trad Irish bars will put a green beer on tap because it's amateur night, it's St. Patrick's Day, just gonna drink some green beer. Yeah. So we're like, how can we do a green beer that's full on natural? So we did some test batches, and it turns out spirulina makes a very bright green beer, but it's pond scum. So we made a beer with spirulina called Verdi Good. Verdi means green. Didn't sell well, tasted like pond scum. Proud of it. Thank you, Megan, for bringing that up. Next question.
Okay, what is the best marketing advice, which we have a lot of smaller brewers here tonight, advice that you can give us startup brewery?
Yep, great question. I was drinking some great beers that are awesome hybrids from Noah, a home brewer here. I know John's doing, you've had Noah's beers, they're nice beers. And I know John's doing great things here at O.H.S.O to blow up the homebrewing culture. Thank you, John, and what you do. And I remember 7 years ago being by a pool in Phoenix with Ron and Leah from Papago and drinking Jeff's homebrew. And it's so cool now to see Jeff doing what he's doing. Let's brewery. So I would say we're in an awesome moment, best moment in the history of our country to be a beer drinker or a beer maker. When I opened Dogfish 19 years ago, there were about 600 breweries in America, one brewery opening every week commercially. Today there's 3,000 commercial breweries in America, 1.5 new commercial breweries opening every day. It's amazing. But the ones that will make it, whether they choose to stay super local, nano, or regional or national, are the ones that do three things really well: quality, consistency, and well differentiated. Figure out your niche and how to describe your beers in a way that stands out from the rest of them, and you'll be successful no matter how big or small you want to get. That's my advice, Kim.
Woo! Yeah.
Is it good advice? And you guys, Golden Eagle has a great mix of local, national, and regional craft breweries. What's an Arizona brewery that you guys have in your portfolio?
Barrio.
Nice. Which is Tucson, right?
Yeah.
Tucson.
Nice. Cool. Next question.
Okay. What can you, how can you differentiate your IPA versus other IPAs on the market?
Okay, that's a good question. When we started doing IPAs in the late 90s, that was not the best-selling beer in America. It almost seems weird now to imagine a craft beer landscape in America where IPA was not the best-selling style. And a lot of us were around in that era. In that era, ambers, pale ales, and lagers were the best-selling styles. And I was watching a chef show on television, and the chef talked about adding a little bit of pinches of pepper the whole time he simmered his soup. So we took that concept and built on the platform of a vibrating football game. A lot of us older fellas remember the vibrating football games. And we took one of those, we put a plastic bucket, perforated bucket on it, and taped it to the vibrating football game. And by angling the game over a boil kettle, we applied the same theory that chef used, which was if you add tiny doses of ingredient the entire time you make a dish, the flavors of that ingredient are more evenly woven into that dish. And that's our continual hopping method that goes into our 60, 90, 120-minute IPAs. 120 I know, and 90 is up tonight. So if you try them, they're intensely hoppy without being crushingly bitter. And that's what we think makes our IPAs so distinct. Alice, John, I got two plants in the audience.
No, I'm asking.
We got some plants.
So, IPAs have been a trend, sours are a trend. What other trend do you see in craft brewing? Which way, where, how? Is it light? Is it heavy? Is it stout? What is it? What other trends do you see?
I would say one thing I don't like is this. There's some folks that say, oh, session beers are the new trend and extreme or strong beers are waning because session beers are waxing. It's the same family of flavorful beers. They should both be able to grow. Dogfish Head brews very sessional beers, like on tap here, John, at your place is our Namaste 4.9, very distinct wheat beer made with lemongrass and orange peel. You know, for us, we will not do a session IPA because we do 60-minute, we do 90, 120. At 6 ABV, we feel 60-minute is our session IPA. But we love that there's other beers out there that are being tried because they're lower ABV. So sours that you mentioned, I think, is a niche that will continue to grow. I think hybrids outside of any style, you know, Noah made a beer tonight that had apple fermentable sugars in it, grape fermentable sugars, and barley. So I think the idea of just getting away from styles and making beers with fermentable sugars from a bunch of different sources is a trend that's going to gain traction. But I don't think IPAs will stop being the best selling or fastest growing style of beer in America for many years to come. My thoughts. I don't know what I'm talking about. Lou, who's been championing Dogfish Head since the mid-90s. We love you, Lou.
Lou!
It hasn't changed in 20 years. Maybe a few less hairs and a few less, but otherwise.
Who are you talking about?
Gray hair.
Are you talking about
He had to deliver his own beer.
Sam, you've gotten into a lot of different merchandise. So you got baseball and sausage. What is the reason you're moving towards that direction? Because you have a name brand, but I mean, is that successful?
Yeah. So Kim was on a panel that we did at our distributor retreat, and frankly, on the face of it, you'd say, hey, you're one of the top 20 craft breweries in America. Just focus on selling your beer, you know? And but the thing is, with so many breweries opening, to keep a distinct beer, right? So for us, you know, when I think about it, when I did this logo in 1994, for me, on a napkin, pretty much on a bar napkin, because my thoughts was, okay, we're going to make these really rustic beers, you know, with all these exotic ingredients. So I want our logo to be very rustic, and the outer line's supposed to say handmade. And but now when I look at it, our beer business will always be our shark, the majority of what we do. And I hope my children will keep that going. I hope we stay a family-owned company for generations to come, which is why I'm so psyched to be with Kim and Chris doing what they're doing. And then I think of the inner circle that's not broken as food, because we started as a brew pub. But then I think of all these things around it as like our distillery business, our merchandise, our clothing collaborations, our beer-centric packaged foods, and all those things kind of bring people into the main beer thing in ways that are pretty unique for our industry. And they also act as a halo around our main brand as we navigate a marketplace that has now 3,000 breweries, and it's very hard to stay distinct in an increasingly crowded beer market. So they're important to us.
All great ideas in the beer industry are on the beer now.
It's true.
It's true.
Okay, so
Yep,
I have
it's
another
true.
question for Sam,
Yep.
coming from your question. What is your next collaboration?
That we haven't announced it. So, how many folks are from the East Coast here originally? Nice. Don't be shy. They're not gonna beat you up just because we're on the East Coast.
Oh, I love these guys.
Loves the East Coast.
I love these.
These guys spend some time.
I love these. They're
So-
every summer I'm on these.
Both Kim and Chris spent time in Philadelphia going to school. Yeah, Philadelphia. Yeah. So you guys have heard of the Bible Belt, the South.
Nashville.
Delaware is part of what's called the Scrapple Belt. Scrapple Belt encompasses New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Delaware. Scrapple is the breakfast meat for the people who think that bacon is too good for you.
Spam stepbrother?
It's kind of Spam's, John, good. It's Spam's evil stepbrother, pretty much. So, but it's so delicious. And so the largest scrapple maker in Delaware is Rappa Scrapple. Beautiful stuff out of Bridgeville, Delaware. And we love seeing our craft brewing brethren doing
Kimberly, it's nothing you would
breakfast
ever
stouts. She would never eat it. Too healthy. So we love seeing our craft brewing brethren doing breakfast stouts. Our friends at Founders do a breakfast stout. Our friends at Funky Buddha, Shorts Brewery. But we started doing our breakfast stout, Chicory Stout, 20 years ago with coffee and chicory. To remind people how long we've been doing our breakfast stout, on the 20th anniversary of when I did that homebrew recipe, I said, let's do the breakfast stout that has the most components possible that work together for a breakfast beer. So it has lactose milk sugars, it has applewood smoked barley, so like applewood smoked bacon. It has chicory, it has coffee, but the most unique ingredient is the scrapple in it, which is a pork-based product that we got really, really lean, made out of mostly the jowls, the lips of the pigs that grew up eating our barley. So it's a circle of life thing, which makes it okay when I'm at the gates of heaven, they'll let me through. telling myself this. So this beer called Beer for Breakfast is the newest thing that we're doing. It'll go on tap at our brewery the first weekend in December.
Okay,